Hello, my name is Kirk Duncan, and welcome to our Vision Board Success Training. This training is for you so that you could learn how to get your vision board working. Because I'll tell you, I know lots of people who are putting their goal posters, their vision boards on the wall, and they're all hopeful, and they just hope the magical pixie dust comes through the air and makes their vision board help their brain work. Well, there are some actual pieces that you must be doing or it is not going to work. Believe me, the last couple of years of my life, I've had to identify the very, very specific steps that it takes to activate my vision board. Well, let's start here at the very beginning. It's not the vision board that's going to create all your successes that you're going to put on there. It's your brain. And see, people don't teach each other what the brain is doing when it's looking at the vision board. That's what you're going to get in this training. This whole entire CD is going to be packed full of steps that you have been missing along the way. Because I'll tell you what, that is why the 5,000, the 50,000, the 100,000, the $1 million Post-it note that I put on my vision board has come to pass. I'm going to teach you about how to make your brain pay attention, how to get your brain involved, how to get those images sunk deep into that subconscious. Because if you follow these steps, it's going to work for you. Now, how can I tell you this? How does this who's this Kirk Duncan guy? How can he be the one to train you right now? Well, so far, life to date, this is my 1,969th time of doing presentations. Now, I'm not talking about recordings, I'm talking about presentations. Almost 2,000 presentations that I have been asked to train people about the things that I've been experiencing and doing. Now, people are asking me to do training for them, not just because it sounds cute and it just sounds nice, but because there's actual results that are happening. Let me explain. I'm a high school graduate. I haven't gone into further education like into college and all those other levels of education out there. I'm just a normal guy. I'm a normal guy from Lander, Wyoming who learned how to stack hay, build fences, hopefully how to chop wood correctly and get all my chores done. I'm a normal guy. But yet, I am producing very amazing results. Last year in business, we had a 436% increase. This year, we have 200% increase. We have amazing people. I'm training about 25 people right now to become trainers and mentors inside 3 key elements. The message that we have is spreading into all different kinds of countries. People are requesting that we turn them into different languages. We have people every month, about every quarter, we are breaking our record from the year before. We are rocking the planet. Totally taking off, shocking the system, shocking the people out there in business going, how do you do this, Kirk? How do you keep growing? What's your secret? Oh, you're so going to learn some powerful things on this training today. You know, I remember the day that I was in high school. It was a senior. I was a senior, and I remember looking at my report card, and somebody that was in front of me saw what was on my report card. You know, I finished off my high school career with a 2.7 GPA. That definitely says this guy is not going to be able to be successful in his life. You know, in your yearbook, how they choose who's going to be the most successful, and it always is around the person who got like the highest grades and like the most popular person. Well, I wasn't in any of those pictures or even considered because I was this quiet, shy, introvert, didn't want to look anybody in the eye, didn't want to just talk to anybody. I had a couple close friends, and that was it. School to me and education just did not go together. It's like, you know what, give me the mountains, give me a river, and I'll just go play out there because there's not a lot of people because people are scary. And that's where I came from. But now here I am with the training and mentoring company where we're helping lots and lots of people. We got to add that up because there's a lot of them that are coming this direction. But the results are amazing because I have this book that's called my Vision Board Success Book. And inside that, there are pictures that and Post-it notes that I put on my vision board that I put up there, and my brain didn't know how to do it. Nobody could tell me how to do it because they hadn't done it themselves. But I put it on my vision board, and I did what I do when I look at my vision board, and that Post-it note or that picture I put on my vision board happens. It happens. And you're going to learn how to put this together from me on this training that you're listening to. You are so smart to do this because people who can have their vision boards help their brain see clearly what it is that they want totally rock the planet. You'll shock the system. People will come to you and say, how did you do this? And then you take them to your house or you just tell them about your vision board. So I'm very excited to be able to share this training with you. With all the different programs I've created, there's been about 14 extremely successful programs. The mentoring, the Mind of Steel mentoring program I have, totally works a person's brain and reorganizes it so it works and produces results. What's the word? Results. Yeah, there's a bunch of like hype like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But I'll tell you what matters is results. When I go out there in the world and I speak in front of universities or in front of doctors, even in front of kindergartners, which that was the hardest audience I've ever spoken in front of in my life. When I go out there and I teach them these things, they're all like, yeah, whatever. But until I start telling them about the results that I have had, they don't really listen. But after they listen to the results, it catches their attention. That's why at trainings I open up my green book and I show people, hey, I'm not just fluff, I'm not just woo-woo, but that this information actually works and it comes down to where it really produces results. And you know what? It is time that you start getting results. And no more just wishy-washy about how this works. From listening to this recording, we're going to power you up, power your brain up, so that you are dead on, right on the path, ready to go, and get your brain working for you. You ready? All right, here we go. Let's start from the beginning. This is where Kirk Duncan came from. Well, I run in my business, have a goal. My goal is to have money to buy groceries. And my goal is to make my family happy, me be happy, and everything just work. Well, you're going to learn very quickly from me that I have a spiritual side to me that's very strong. So this day I found myself kneeling down next to my bed, praying, asking my higher power is God, asking God, why is my business not working? What is wrong? What am I missing? I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated and people are being disappointed in me. What am I missing? And in that time of praying and kind of complaining to God, going, I don't know what to do. I thought I was doing everything. And, all the big business moves and all the big, organize it and business plan and all these different things, we were doing that. We got the things in order. We got our message figured out. We got all the stuff, our mission, our vision statement, had all these things put together. But it's like something's missing. And in my prayer of asking, what I got as an answer was, Kirk, you need to put what you want on the wall in the form of a picture or a statement. Right. Okay. So I'm thinking, you mean like a vision board? And my wife and I had went and bought some materials and, went and got the fancy route, got the board and the material and all this stuff to be able to make it really fancy. And the stuff had been sitting in the garage for like a year. So we had thought about doing it. We felt prompted to do it, but we didn't follow through with it. And here I am praying, and the answer is, build your vision board, Kirk. Get it on the wall. Well, okay, great idea. Thank you, God. I'll go do that. Well, I get up from my prayer, and of course, I get distracted, and I move, and I go do things, and, well, I didn't do it. Seriously, like a week and a half later, I'm kneeling next to my bed, and I'm asking God again, what am I supposed to do? Things are not working. And the answer comes back again. Build your vision board, Kirk. And it's, okay, all right, I'll go do that. I go back out in the garage, I look at all the materials again, and I think this is going to take too long. I got to get my wife involved because it's got to be perfect, because my vision board has to be perfect for it to work perfectly. It has to look beautiful for it to work perfectly, right? That's how it's supposed to be, because if I'm going to do it, it has to be perfect before it works correctly. Well, a week, 2 weeks go by. I'm finding myself again kneeling next to my bed. Now it's like almost a month later from when I started this prayer. And I pray because I seek for answers. I want some understanding from something that's bigger than me. So I'm praying. And as soon as I start into the prayer, I'm not kidding. It's like what you're going to hear right now is what happened. Kirk, get your vision board on the wall now. And it was intense. It was extremely intense. Man, I jump up, I run, I go to the garage, I pull out the materials, and I think I'm going to put it all together really fast, but I can't it's going to take too long. So I look over at the desk, and over on my workbench, there's some green tape, and it was actually some blue tape, and I run back inside, and I go to the wall, and I tape, and I put this square, I draw this square on the wall with my blue tape, like 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. I put this square, and then the next thing was, I got to put something in the square, so I run back in the kitchen, and I find this page, and I rip this picture out, and it's a picture of a video camera, and I go and I put it inside the square on the wall next to my bed. And I created my first real vision board because I didn't want to get in trouble. I just been talking to God, and he's like, I felt like he was mad at me because I wasn't doing what he suggested I do. And so I do this, and it's on the wall, and seriously, I look at the ceiling and I ask, like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And there's no answer. Like, no answer, no instructions of how to work this vision board. My tape on the wall was crooked. The corners were not perfect. I just ripped the tape. I didn't cut it. There was nothing perfect about it at all. Are you hearing the first clue? Clue number 1. It does not have to be perfect. And I know right now there are many of you out there, oh, it's got to look pretty, and it's got to be perfectly hung on the wall, and it's got to be this nice frame, and you got to go shopping and create this whole experience. Let me just tell you, every day you waste time trying to make that thing perfect, you are losing out on results. You're losing. Knock it off. Get your vision board on the wall. It doesn't matter if it's sloppy or whatever it is. It does not matter if it's the perfect picture. What has to happen first clue in your vision board success is you get it on the wall and you make it so you can see it. And I know right now there are some of you who are listening to this that you are hiding your vision board. You're hiding your vision board in the closet. You're hiding it behind a cupboard. You're hiding it behind the door so no one can see it. Guess what? If you hide it from people, then your brain knows you're ashamed of what's on your vision board. Get your vision board out of hiding and get it next to your bed, right on the wall, right next to your bed. But Kirk, really, does it have to be there? What if it doesn't fit my decor? Who cares? You'll make the money to fix your decor. Just listen to me. You cannot hide your vision board. You can't hide it. You hide it, your brain will hide, and it won't get the results done. Oh, but Kirk, I've got some results. Well, are they like earth-shattering? $50,000, $100,000, massive trips, massive growth, massive things happening? I bet it's not. So here I am training you. Listen carefully. Get your vision board out from hiding. It's got to be as close to your bed as possible. When you mount the vision board or however you're going to create it on the wall, make sure that when you're looking straight at your vision board, it's not the dead center spot of your vision board, and it's not the top. It's in between those two. That's where your eyes need to hit. I've watched people try and raise their vision board like really high or really low, but have it so when you're looking at your vision board, when you look straight across, that center is just a couple inches down from there so that it's just right there. Your eyes don't have to move very far to look at all the pictures. And please don't make your vision board gigantic. I saw someone's picture one time. They made their whole entire wall in their bedroom their vision board. Guess what the results were? Nothing. Because it was too big. Please start out nice and simple. 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet square, or 3 foot tall by 2.5 feet. Something the size of a poster board. About that size. I would start out there, get some really good results before you decide to change the size of your vision board. If you already got one of those massive ones, shrink it down. And yes, you got to take off some of those pictures that you've been working on. Here's the next clue. Only start out with 9 items on your vision board. On your vision board, you want to divide it up into like, like the old telephone, a keypad, how there's 9 different buttons. You do that, so divide it up so it looks like what do you call those? The X's and O's. You know what I'm talking about. Just do it so it's got 9 sections and that you're going to put 1 item in each one of those sections. Okay, so I got my vision board on the wall. It's there. I don't know what to do next. I really don't know what to do next. And I have it. So here's what you got to have so far. Tape, you have a wall, and you have 9 items. Okay, that's where you're at right now. Tape, you got a wall, and you got 9 items. Has to be in your bedroom, has to be close to your bed as possible, and it cannot be hidden. No hiding. I started searching, looking, got on the internet, watched YouTube videos, trying to figure out how other people are making their vision boards work. There were so many different answers, and they went in so many different directions, they almost like contradicted each other. So I finally got fed up with it, and I went, you know what? I'm not going to follow all this other stuff out there. I got to figure this out, and I'm going to figure it out between me and God. If God says I should have a vision board, I ought to listen to him. And guess what? My vision board, not only was it items about just things that I want personally, but it's going to have to do with like my business and success. And so I'm going to figure this out. And I want to figure it out in such a way that I understand how it's affecting my brain. I would stand in front of my vision board like for minutes on end looking at my different items. And seriously, most of the time, I'm asking myself, how is this ever going to work? Like, what is this really going to do? I don't get this. And as I continue to search and look for these answers, the number one key thing that kept coming to me is our visual department inside of our brain is hungry for pictures. It's hungry. You know, on the planet, there's declarations, people do recordings, and they do all these different things, and there's all these words that get inside of our head. But I'll tell you what matters the most is that image. The image matters. When you get that image in detail in your mind, and you have that in front of you and you're using it, there's a department in your brain that feeds on it. I mean, just feeds on it, just in detail. But if you don't have a picture that you're looking at to be able to input into the visual part of your brain, that part is going to suffer. It's going to suffer. Like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if I don't know how to explain what I want, I find a picture that's close. Now, I just now put 1,000 words in my head with one image. 1,000 words got inside my head because of one image. So do you hear the secret behind this? The fast pace, the move forward, the bust out of where you're at and grow, because every image you put on the wall generated 1,000 words of descriptions inside your head. 9 images, 9,000 words. Ooh, doesn't that sound powerful? And all you got to do is look at it. All you got to do is get up in the morning. Here's your next tip. You get up in the morning and seriously, 3 minutes. 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. So if you're prayerful, get up, say your prayers. Then the next piece is look at your vision board. Look at every single item, every single one over the next 3 minutes. And I'm going to teach you more as we go along as the different levels of what to do. But in the beginning, that's what I was being guided to do. You just look at those images for a total of 3 minutes. You know, some people, they'll go 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Fine, do it. But for me, I am a busy man and I got things to do, kids to feed, house to take care of. And so I had to find the amount of time that I could spend. And seriously, my vision board success has come from 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. Say it with me. 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. In the beginning, though, I was still like, some doubtful thoughts came in and some hesitation like, oh my word, how is this ever going to work? And seriously, all I was doing was standing in front of my vision board and looking at it. Now, remember this. This is a key for you too, that you need to have pictures and statements. So you have words and visual. Not all of them are pictures. Some of them, it's a statement, like a Post-it note. Now, Kirk, you just said that pictures are worth 1,000 words. They are. But I do understand this now, too, as I've gone forward in using my vision board. I have a right side of my brain and a left side of my brain. My right side feeds on the pictures. My left side feeds on the statement. When I look at the statement, I can see the image in my mind. But I've learned to feed the left side of my brain with the statements. It loves the sentence structure. It loves how it flows. It just loves it. So if you want to activate left and right side of your brain so that you have whole brain activity with your vision board, you're going to have pictures and you're going to have images. I don't have it exactly balanced, but I do have, right now I have more pictures than I have statements, but I have both. Get both of them on there, because if you have both, you'll have whole brain activity. If you want your vision board to launch you into the next level of success, it's going to require whole brain activity. Whole brain activity. Okay, so you're looking at your vision board, looking at the different pieces, looking at where the parts are, looking at all these things, and this is your next step. Next step goes like this. You intensify your experience with your vision board. The way you get your brain to adjust, or what I call tip your brain towards leaning a new direction of believing that you can have what's on your vision board, it takes intensity. And that means looking at your pictures, like staring deeply at those images, not just scanning your vision board, but looking at the picture, looking at every teeny tiny detail, not saying anything, not rehearsing anything inside of your mind, just looking in detail. So like my video camera that was on the wall, I looked at every teeny tiny thing. I looked at how the strap was attached to it, how that must feel. I looked at the metal piece that it was connected to. I looked at the little graphics on the side or the little emblem of the company that made it, and I imagined what that would feel like if I slid my thumb across it. The buttons, I imagined what finger would be on that button. The lens cover, if I touched it, what would that feel like? If I held it in my hand, how much did it weigh? What does red feel like compared to blue? The shape of it, how did that fit inside my hand? I looked at every teeny tiny detail. If I was looking at the statement that's on my vision board, it may say, collect and deposit $5,000 in 5 days. I would look at the letters in the statement. I'd look at the each individual letter. I'd look at the dollar sign and just outline that with my eyes, and the 5 and the comma and the 0 and the 0 and the 0. And I would move very slowly as I looked and scanned those details, because whatever you look at in detail becomes a reality inside of your mind. But you have to be intense on the detail. You have to create it. If you just glance at it and then you run and go do your other things during the day, it's going to take you longer to get it, but it'll work. It's just going to take you a lot longer. I don't know about you, but I like my results to show up now, right now, like now. So the way I do it is I look at every single tiny detail of the image, every single tiny detail of the words in my statements. And I just scan those pictures. And if my eyes want to go to the side or look up or look away, then I grab my eyes and I just shove them back into that picture. I have those 3 minutes to be that intense of looking at my picture. The next level after that is to add the statement. As you're looking at your images and you're looking at your statements, is that as you're looking at the images, you're saying on the inside of you, I want that, and I want that now. This part cracks me up because so many people get all in a hussy about, oh, Kirk, you're being really selfish and being really materialistic, and God, it's really possessive and whatnot. Come on, all I'm doing is training my brain. This has nothing to do with the planet, has nothing to do between my relationship between me and God. This has to do with my brain. Stop being lazy and get to work. Your brain is a literal department of employees who are sitting there. Most of them are sleeping. They're on constant break. They don't even know what to do because you don't tell them what to do. You don't tell them when you want it done. You don't demand that they get it done. You're the one that's the employer of all these workers inside your head that can create these things. And guess what? Your brain is lazy. It's lazy. It's totally sleeping. And I can hear your thoughts right now. Well, mine's not, Kirk. Whatever. Why'd you have to buy this CD? You had to buy this CD because you didn't know how to get your vision board to work. And I'm busting your chops right now telling you, you have to get your brain activated by demanding that it works on it now. And that you expect it to get it done, that piece of information on that vision board, you want it to create it right now. I know, pretty intense, huh? I'm telling you, welcome to the world of Kirk. It wasn't until I realized and had a massive result, which I'm going to tell you very soon, a massive result that I was that demanding on my brain. And guess what? It produced a shocking result. Shocking. You have to be the one to be demanding on your brain. There is not another human being on this planet that can do it. There's not a God in the universe that has the permission to get inside your brain to force your brain to work. You have free will and choice to experience whatever you want to create on this planet. And inside that brain, you have the power to create anything and everything. And so far, it's been working on default, because you have to choose what you're going to create. And then you got to stay right on top of your brain and demand that it happens now. Okay, so I just talked about how you got these workers and the departments inside your brain. Guess what? Just like any business out there in the world, when the owner wants the employees to do things, the employees will have their comments come back. Like, I don't know, this is like a lot of work. They're just like, they find everything that's wrong and why it won't work. Well, my employees in 3 comments, they don't do that. But I've worked in other places where the employees do that. So guess what happens inside your head? You're spending your time at your vision board and you're saying, I want that and I want it now. And you've gone from saying it inside your mind to now saying it out loud as you're looking at the image. And guess what happens? All those little workers inside your head start making comments back. Start making comments about, oh, you can't have that. You don't even know what to do. You don't deserve that. Oh, you're being selfish. Oh, all you want are material things. You're not being spiritual. Oh, you can't be rich and be humble. Oh, the root of all, the love of money is the root of all evil. Blah, 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 blah. Your workers are going to come up with all these excuses, all these reasons, all this blah, blah of why it's not going to work. So here you just spent your time in front of your vision board, forcing your brain, and now you have this coming back at you. This is what usually kills a person's hope and faith about their vision board, is the comments that happen afterwards. Usually people don't have a tool of what to do with that stuff. This is where I'm going to give you one of my mentoring tips. This is where I suggest you get a nice little inexpensive journal that you can just buy, or you just go grab a piece of paper out of the computer drawer or wherever you get your scrap piece of paper. And all those comments you hear coming at you after you look at your vision board, you write them all down. Write down all the comments. Capture them. Put them on paper, so you can see what is kicking your trash from getting everything on your vision board. If you can see it, you can stop it. If you can see it, you can stop it. One more time. If you can see it, you can stop it. So if you let those comments roam around in your head and you think you can just push them out of your head, it's impossible. Don't try it. First, master it by writing it down on paper and seeing it. Then you crumple that paper, or you burn the paper, or you shred the paper, and you show those comments and those little workers in your head what you do with your comments. You show what you do, what the power you have to shut that stuff down so that they do not have any power against you or on you in any form. That's what you do after your vision board experience, because I already know it's going to happen. That is probably one of the biggest vision board killers that I see, is when somebody tells me, oh, the things aren't coming off my vision board, Kirk. I ask them, after you look at your vision board, what do you do next? And the comments usually go, oh, well, I go on to what I was doing, and and I go, what about the negative comments that came to you? Oh, I didn't get any. Right. You're going to push on a brain to make it work harder. And you didn't have any negative comments coming back to you? Oh, no, there wasn't any. And I said, well, I'm going to suggest to you, you're deaf. You're deaf, and you're not paying attention to those negative comments. Every person who has told me, there's no negative comments, Kirk, I cause them to stand at their vision board for a few minutes after they are intense with their vision board and hold a journal with them. And guess what they hear? Guess what they hear when they're like looking for it? The comments have always been there. But see, some people are so used to the negative comments, they consider it common knowledge and common conversation inside their head. And they don't notice that it's damaging and that it's stopping all the work they just did with their vision board. So here's a suggestion to you. You must find the negative comments that are deteriorating the growth that you're causing by looking at your vision board. This one step could launch your vision board experience into a whole new level, because it undermines you the moment you walk away from your vision board. And if you happen to be one of those people where there really isn't anything, keep the journal with you. But throughout the day, they're going to sneak in there. Because I'll tell you right now, the reason you don't get what you want on your vision board is because there's been an opposite statement that is stronger inside your mind than your experience at the vision board. There's a negative comment that is in your mind that is stronger than the positive statement and experience you had at your vision board. The negative outweighs your positive. That tips your brain to believe in the negative. So it's a scale. It tips back and forth. You're creating a vision board to create higher levels of faith, higher levels of hope, and you're causing your brain to become active and awake that you are ready to create. You're ready. You are firing your brain up like, let's use the tool God gave us to create. But if the negative comments go on and on like they always have, then the scale is still tipped. That negativity in your head is still heavier. Well, you write that information down in a journal. Shred it, burn it, get rid of it, whatever you want to do with it, just get rid of it out of your head. But you have to first see it. That's why you write it down. And I could just like pull my hair out right now with those people who go, no, you see, Kirk, I've learned to push those out of my head. And guess what? They're the people that are sitting in front of me going, how come my vision board doesn't work? It's like, really? Really? You tell me you can shove this stuff out of your head. It's simple, you guys. Inside of our head, it's a scale, and it tips one way or the other. When you are mostly positive and in creation mode in your head, you get what you want. When it tips the other way and it's more negative, you still get what you want, all the negative. So we must cause a tipping. It must tip. If you don't get the new results. So a vision board is a way to cause new evidence, to cause the scale to tip. But the negativity has always been there, so you must find a way to get that negativity out. And the most simple of simple ways to do that is to write it down, take the paper, run it through the shredder, cut it up in tiny pieces. Or if you like doing what I do, I love fire. I love watching the fire burn that paper. I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things, you know? It just burns it up. Now, if you're a young person, you have to get permission from your parents to go burn. Don't do it without a parental supervision. But I tell you, that does something to the psychology in my subconscious when I watch fire consume, burn those negative comments. Ooh, just love that piece. Okay, so media, movies, music, all kinds of things out there right now, magazines, internet, are all trying to pump images into your head. I mean, the biggest problems people get into on the internet has to do with images. Hello, the negative source on the planet, let's just call him the devil. He is working on people's imagery department. He's trying to get images inside there. So he's teaching us one of the most powerful pieces that is happening on the planet. It's our imagery. Our imagery. I hope you guys are getting this message. It's our imagery. If the bad guys are trying to shove more images into our head, then us as good people ought to catch on to the clue that that's where we need to be going right now, is through the imagery department in our head. Because if the bad guys are doing it, they know it will stop us and shut us down faster. And so us as good people, if we actually fired up our imagery department, we could smash the bad people, the yucky ones. We could beat the good guys will win. The good guys will win. I hope you're getting my point that we need to tip what's happening inside of our brain by creating more positive evidence and unload the negative evidence that's been inside your head. Got it? I hope you got it. Okay, here we go. Here's the process, how your vision board works. Every thought you have generates a feeling. Every feeling you have generates a body gesture, a movement. Then those movements send messages out to the planet. Those messages that go out to the planet hit the people. The people get the message, then they respond to the message. So if you want people to help you with your vision board experiences to come true, it has to get inside your thoughts. Your thoughts have to do with two different things, audio and visual. Audio and visual. So inside the input in your head, it goes through audio and visual. Visual right now being the strongest, the biggest piece right now. Audio, second to video. And so this is how it works. You input these images into your mind. And then once you get in there strong enough and repetitive enough and intense enough, then what happens is it creates feelings around those images. There's feelings now that are happening. Those feelings then are the electrical impulse from your brain. Every muscle, every tendon, every skin movement, every finger flick, every way that you stance will tell the world what's on your vision board. Because the image is inside your head, which generates the feeling, which is the electrical impulse from your brain, telling everybody, this is what I have on my vision board. This is what I want to create. People out there that will get the message of, you're creating? I want to help you create, because every human being has a soul. And that soul is hungry and has a strong desire to create. So if you are giving off a signal with your body language that you are in creation mode through your vision board, then they want to help you. They will come to you and they will assist you. They don't know it consciously, but they just want to help those people who are creating. And so then here comes these people, and maybe if you're a trainer, they want to come to your class, or maybe your neighbors will come to you and they're like hearing about your projects and they want to help you get your projects done. But you put the image in your mind, it generates a feeling. The feeling goes out through your body that causes certain gestures. People see the signal, they feel the vibration coming from you. They want to support those people who are creating. Then you have a team of people to assist you to create. Then the items on your vision board come true. They come true. If you're in creation mode, with little to no negativity inside that, that is what money is attracted to. Also, is people who want to create. To create. Now, of course, we have the evil people on the planet. They also want to create. So they get in alignment with their creations. And they have money go to them too. And they have people that go to them, and they build teams of evil people. The system works both ways, positive or negative. Good people, bad people. So when people go, well, how come then negative people get money? Because they're in alignment with what they want to create. Hitler, he had a vision of what he was going to do, and he was in creation mode. And anybody who was at that same vibration migrated over to work with Hitler. He enrolled people into doing those kind of things. They had the money and the resources to do it. So he showed us in an evil way that it works. So if you're good or bad, it's going to work. Bad people, though, on the outside, it looks like, wow, they're winning and they got power and oh my gosh, look at them. But come on, you guys. On the inside, you really think that their soul is happy? I think I heard a statement once that said wickedness was never happiness. So those of you on the planet who are so concerned about the evil people getting rich, why don't you be a good person on the planet that becomes rich? In fact, let me just go there for a second. What is wrong with the good people on the planet? Why are we all not wealthy? I'll tell you why. Because we're stuck in the middle. We're stuck in the middle. We don't get our brains activated to be in creation mode, to create. We don't force it to happen. We just sit around thinking it's supposed to happen like growing grass, like it's just going to happen every year. You have a brain and it's your job to mold it. I would rather see a whole bunch of good people become extremely wealthy and extremely successful and snuff out those that are being the bad, yucky ones on the planet. Come on, you guys. Let's be those kind of people. Fire up your brain. Get that evidence in your head heavy, that it's positive and that you can create. Okay, I'm done with my little rant on that piece. Okay, you must train your brain. A big key behind this is loving your brain. Loving it. Loving it. Talking in a language that you love your brain. It just crushes me on the inside to hear somebody say, oh my gosh, I can't do anything right. I'm so stupid. Look at me. I'm fat. I can't hold my schedule. I'm not a good dad. I'm not a good mother. I can't make dinner very good. My house is always messy. I can't even organize things. All those comments that you make about yourself are about your brain. And when your brain sees what you think about it, it gets sad. It gets sad. And then it has like no motivation to go out there in the world to do something. Your self-talk will crush your vision board. You know, I know people right now who have vision boards and they trash themselves all day long. And they ask me, Kirk, why do you think my vision board doesn't work? And I look them in the eye and I said, you got to be nice to yourself. You have to say good things to yourself. But my house is always messy. Then be happy about you can create a messy house really good. Come on, we got to love who we are. We have to say good thoughts about ourselves. We have to compliment ourselves. We have to teach ourselves. If you have bad self-talk to yourself during the day, or you trash yourself or make comments about your belly or your physical shape or your abilities, you might as well just go burn your vision board. Save yourself 3 minutes every morning and night. It's not going to work, people. You can't want to create something and trash the very being that's going to create it. You're the being that's going to be the biggest part of creating it. Now, you churchy people out there that are going to jump on that and go, no, God creates everything. Have you ever heard of co-creation? You are the largest part of it. You have a free will and choice to create. Then after you start, God jumps in. But you're the biggest piece. You're the biggest piece. And aren't you an image of who he is? Yeah. So own up to the fact that you are going to go out and create. And that you must treat the person that's creating it and the largest part of getting it started, that's you. And if you trash yourself, trash your vision board then. Get rid of all your creations. So here's a big piece. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself like now. It goes like this. I forgive myself. I love who I am. I like myself. One of the funniest things I do whenever I catch myself trashing myself is I switch and all I say for the next 20 minutes, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I learned this from Brian Tracy on one of his CDs. I like myself. And the first time I heard it, I thought it was so goofy and so corny. But then when I was really down on myself one day, I just went, you know what? For 20 minutes, I'm going to just say, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. And I just went on my I like myself statements for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, guess what happened? I like myself. So don't trash the creator. You're part of the creation. You must talk good about who you are. Or your brain gathers all that evidence and goes, why are we even trying to create this stuff? I mean, we don't even like ourselves. It'll give you a lot of power in moving forward, just so you know. Good to know? Good. Okay, so I'm looking through my green book. What is a green book, Kirk? Well, a green book is this. It is a binder, a whole $1.75 white binder, and I put a piece of paper in the front of it, and I wrote on the paper before I put it in there, I put vision board success story. Very simple, not trying to be fancy. And then I put sheet protectors in my binder. Every item that I have put on my vision board and taken off my vision board is inside my success book. The reason I do this is so I can show my brain evidence that I can create things. And it's really fun to go show people. I have video camera, the house I live in, a book I wrote in 6 days, speaking in Park City with an Olympic gold medalist, getting my first Mac computer and my Mac laptop, fly fishing for 3 days. Oh, look at here. I will collect and deposit $5,000 by a certain date. Okay, now this is the only item I put in my vision board that had an expiration date to it. Let me tell you how I see vision boards. When I put something on my vision board, I put the date that I put it on the vision board. Then my game that I play with my brain is, how fast can I make it happen? Other people out there will put an ending date. And then like all the pressure works up to this ending date. And if you don't make it, then the person freaks out and see my vision board doesn't work. And, oh, I can't do anything right. Blah, 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 blah. So to avoid all this drama, what I do is I put things on my vision board. I put the date in which I put it on the vision board. Then I put the pressure on my brain to make it happen now, right now. So this one that's in my binder about collecting and depositing of $5,000, I put it on my vision board July 30th, 2000. No, I put it on my vision board July 25th, 2009, 5 days before July 30th. My family and I needed $5,000, and I had no idea how to figure it out. I remember my wife looking at me going, really? You're going to figure out how to get $5,000 in 5 days? And I go, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to follow 3 rules. It must be legal, it must be moral, and it must be ethical. Those are the 3 rules that if I were you, I would adopt: legal, moral, ethical. Legal, moral, ethical. Have rules about how your vision board works. So I had 5 days to figure out how to get $5,000 that would be legal, moral, and ethical. I put it on my vision board, and this was the moment that I got so intense because I had 5 days to get it done. And this experience taught me how I can put pressure on my brain, and it makes it work hard. And since this experience, I still applied the same pressure and I've still got all kinds of amazing results. So I've never really told in a class how I got this $5,000. And so I'm going to tell you. Well, the first day I looked at my vision board, and 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night. And I was telling my brain, and I was pointing at this piece on my vision board about this $5,000. And I was saying, I want that, and I want it now, right now. And I just got intense. My stance, my look, my focus, I was pointing with my finger, pointing at that picture, showing my brain, that right there, I want it right now. After I walked away from my vision board, I had to remove massive amounts of negative comments. Massive amounts of negative comments, writing them down, getting them out of my head. Then throughout the day, I kept asking my brain, what do I do next? What do I do next to get that $5,000? What do I do next? So I kept the pressure going all day long. And as I kept putting pressure on my brain, just like squeezing a sponge, it was squeezing out more negative comments. Okay, I just gave you a huge secret. Because I put pressure on my brain and squeezed it with positive pressure, it squeezed out the negative comments. And I wanted that to happen. My mind was flooded with negative comments. A problem I'm going to tell you right now with the human race is people get all freaked out if all of a sudden they start having all these negative comments because they think they're being negative, but they don't understand their brain has been saturated with negative comments. Their body has been saturated with negative comments. And when you put pressure on a person's body and brain, it starts to squeeze them out. And they're freaking out going, oh no, I'm being all negative. It's like, no, we're finally squeezing it out of you. So I hope you take that hint. You have negative comments stored in your body and in your brain. And when you start to add positive pressure to it, you're going to hear more negative comments than you've ever heard in your life because they're on the way out of your system. On the way out of your system. So I put pressure on my brain about how do I get this $5,000 by Friday? How do I get it by July 30th on Friday? And all these negative comments are coming out of me. I felt sick. I felt like my tummy was upside down. I wanted to throw up. And then right before I go to bed, I look at my vision board and I do the exact same experience. So that was on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, same thing. I had no answers of how to generate this $5,000. None. But I kept the pressure on me. And I had massive amounts of negative stuff coming out of me. Negative thoughts, negative feelings, all this junk. But I knew what was going on. I was squeezing it out of me. I was very shocked at how much was coming out of me. It's like, holy smokes, Duncan. Yeah, I had no idea you had that much inside of you. Good experience to go through. On about Wednesday, I had a feeling that I should start carrying a notepad with me, like ideas were going to start coming to me. And I'd carry my pad of paper around with me all day long. Nothing was getting written down. Nothing. Well, Thursday night, it was the night before the day I had to have the $5,000 because there were deadlines. Bills were due. Certain things were due. And so on the next day, I had to have it. And so I put the pad of paper next to my bed. One more time, intensely looked at my vision board. That night, after I was very intense at myself, my brain, about getting that $5,000, I just asked my brain, please, I know you know something. I know you know how to do this. There's something we can do to create this that is legal, moral, and ethical. And I went to bed. The next morning, I was woken up. I was awakened, however you want to say it. I was awakened by my brain. Seriously, I remember laying there and I heard my mind go, we got the answer. We got it. And my eyes popped open. I'm looking at the ceiling. And the next command was, grab your pad of paper. This is what you do. And I grabbed my pad of paper. I'm writing on my pad of paper all these steps of what to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And I'm writing it down and it didn't make sense. And all of a sudden it got clear down to the end, all the way to the end of how many, I had like 10, 11 steps to do during this day. And on the last step, it all came together. That's how the $5,000 is going to happen. And it's going to be legal, moral, and ethical. And oh my gosh, I wake up my wife. I go, honey, I got it figured out. I know I'm going to do this. And she's like, what are you going to do? And the answer that came to me was, I must help more people. If I want bigger dollars to come towards me, I have to figure out a way to help more people. More people. Share more, help more. And that's a secret I have never told at any class. To share more and help more. So the answer that came to me, the very first couple steps was, I had to make a list of all the people that I resent and that I regret and that bother me. And that I needed to ask for forgiveness for my feelings towards them. And it was really weird. To be able to get $5,000, I had to go clear up relationships with people. It was like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it makes sense now. But back then, it did not make sense. But first, before there's a dramatic increase, I learned that I have to clean up the relationships that I currently have before I can get new relationships and new rewards. I had to clean up relationships. And so I made my list of people. There were some people I had to call and apologize and ask them for forgiveness. Some of them forgave me, some of them didn't. But I felt like just taking the action step was what I was supposed to do. I forgave myself and I forgave all these other people and asked them for forgiveness. And I got all the relationship stuff put in place. And the idea that came to me was to create a program named the Mentoring Academy. This happened probably almost 2 years ago. To have a program to teach people how to become mentors. This is how the Mentoring Academy started, was from my goal to have $5,000 by the end of the next day. But the principle that I learned was, if I want bigger rewards, I first have to clean up my relationships I currently have, be willing to share more to more people, and that the $5,000 would happen. And so I followed my steps. I created the Mentoring Academy. I typed it up. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach people a lot of my mentoring secrets, and this is what I'm going to have available. And when I got all of that information done and put together, I I was done. And I was like, what is the next step? And the next step was call this person. I called that person, told them I needed to meet with them. I had something I wanted to share with them. I went and met with them. I laid out the whole mentoring academy, and the person looked me in the eye and said, I want this. This is what I've been looking for all my life, and everything you have that's going to be in this program is exactly what I want. And that was the first person to purchase a membership inside the Mentoring Academy. And the tuition to get into the Mentoring Academy was $5,000. They wrote me out a check, and it was done deal at about 4:30, 5 o'clock on that next day. By the time we ended the appointment and set up the next appointments for the Mentoring Academy to start with this one person, I drove home, and I was home by 6:15 and had the $5,000 in my hand. But that's where the $5,000 happened in 5 days. I learned that to move up to the next level, whenever creating something, what is required of you, you must clean up relationships. You cannot advance to the next level of success and rewards with relationships that are still in a hurt feeling. They hold you at a certain level, and you have not proven yourself to move up to the next level until you have learned how to clean up and put in order your relationships, so that for your vision board to work, and you want to move up in big steps, you must clean up your current relationships. And you will see the larger pieces on your vision board start to happen as soon as you clean up your relationships. And then the next step is to build new relationships. New relationships, where with these new relationships, you're going to share more, and you're going to share it with more people. If you happen to be somebody who doesn't like people, well, get over it. Figure out what those emotions are and where they're coming from. Your vision board is going to have a tough time working. Your brain's going to have a tough time working when you have relationships with the human race or with yourself that are not in order. It holds your vision board creating experience at a standstill. You'll plateau. Things won't work. Every person that I have mentored where they have tried to get their vision board to work, we found that they had relationships that were not in a good place. They clean up their relationships, their vision board takes off. Whoa, is that cool or what? Okay, so the rest of my vision board book, it goes from $5,000 to $20,000 to a $50,000 item to $100,000. And my brain kept telling me it was going to take me 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to make all this stuff happen. But guess what? When I figured out the relationship piece and I started cleaning up my relationships, my brain first told me that it was going to take me 4 years to generate $50,000 in 1 month. Well, in 2.5 months, I took that off my vision board. And in those 2.5 months, the number one piece I worked on was relationships. It's called the law of indirect. If you want more money to come to you in a righteous way, and it's legal, moral, and ethical, and you want to feel good about the way you earn your money, you work it through building relationships with people. The money will show up when your relationships are clean. The money will go away when your relationships are in a crappy place. So it has to do with relationships. Relationships with you, yourself, with your neighbors, with your family, with God, with your bosses, with your friends, with anybody. Your whole life, from however old you are right now, clear back to the day you were born. And if you are like ultra spiritual, even before you were born, clean up those relationships, because your creation power will be halted to the level in which your relationships are not in order. When you are in order with your relationships, your creative powers inside of you will escalate, will move to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. Anytime I know that my success is plateaued, I know what's wrong. I have to find the next relationship that is not in order. And I go and I put it in order. I do what it takes to get that relationship in order, because I know if I get halted, Emotions are going to creep in. I'm going to feel bad about myself. And then this negativity is going to happen. And then everything I've created is going to go away. And I'm not on this planet to create all this for it to go away. I hope you got what I just laid down for you. Extremely powerful when it comes to a vision board. And it's probably one of the key factors, along with all the other ones on this recording, why your vision board is not working. If it's not working the way you want, or the big items aren't coming off, you have relationships that you must get in order. Clean them up. Ask for forgiveness. Go to the person. Get them in order. It's not worth it to leave those where they're at. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about confidence, self-esteem, loving who you are, enjoying this planet, enjoying the abundance that's on the planet, enjoying everything that could be at your fingertips. But if you have relationships that are in sour places and you don't want to take any action on it, go ahead. Stay in misery. How does that feel? I hope you don't like being miserable. And I hope you take action on this. Because I want you to know vision boards absolutely rock. They so rock. They so are very exciting. Because when my brain says I can't have it, and within 2 months it happens, I can show my brain and go, see, look, we can create anything we want. Anything. Anything. And I don't know about you, but it just causes me to get all excited on the inside. Because as I'm looking at what's next to go on my vision board, I just get so excited. So funny when my kids come to me and they go, hey, Dad, can I put stuff that I want on your vision board? Even my own wife. She came to me once and goes, honey, your vision board's working faster than mine. Can I put some of my stuff on your vision board? Funny. All right. You have what it takes now to cause a very powerful vision board to happen. Listen to this recording over and over and over again, so make sure you get all the pieces that I just told you that happen to be able to bring your vision board to be successful. And it's not your vision board, is it? No, it's your brain. Your brain's connected to your body, and your brain is also connected to your soul. So it's the mediator between your body and your soul. That's why we want your brain to be on board, because then your spirit and your body can work together. Your flesh and spirit can work together. Can you hear that? Your flesh and spirit work together, and when they work together, there's a relationship. And when the relationship is in a good place, then they create. There's the secret. The brain is between the body and the spirit. Get all of them working together, you're going to create some massive, amazing, incredible results. So go get your tape. Get it on the wall. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get the picture on the wall. And go back to track 1 and listen to this again. I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear your success stories. So you find me. You send me a letter. You send me an email. You send me a posting on wherever, blog, Facebook, wherever you can find me right now, Kirk A. Duncan, and you find me and you let me know about your vision board success. What I just taught you, I have never heard out there on any YouTube posting anywhere. They all say all this other stuff, but I understand the core of what's going on here. Everything is connected to relationships. Everything. You want success? Clean up your relationships. You want to have fun on this planet? Clean up your relationships. You want to feel better? Clean up your relationships. You want anything to happen on this world that you want to be part of? Put your relationships in order. You're awesome. Get your vision board on the wall. Get it done. And get it done now. To keep your success going, I suggest to you to teach other people about vision boards. But a problem you may run into is people won't believe you. That's why you open up your success book and show them all the things that are coming off of your vision board. All right. So with family, don't push them into doing a vision board. If they don't want to do a vision board, their mind is not going to get in on it. Lead by example with your team, with your family, with your spouse, with your loved ones, with your friends. Lead by example. Have those items come off your vision board because you were able to focus with your mind, change the evidence in your subconscious, and get that item off your board. They will believe your results more than your story about vision boards. So you need to create those results. And remember, don't push anybody. Don't push anybody. I would still teach as many people as possible wherever you go about how it works. It helps keep your mind nice and fresh. All right, as we wrap this up, I want you to know that vision boards have changed my life. It's taught me the power of my mind, the power of my desire, the power of faith. The power of faith. Just like you may have heard the story that faith is like a seed that gets planted, and that seed needs to be watered and nourished. Well, let's clue in on the words of watering and nourishing. For anything to grow outside, it seems like it needs sunshine and good soil and water. Your vision board is the seed. You are in charge of watering, nourishing, and giving it good soil to grow in. Your subconscious is the soil. Your watering is adding to the image on your vision board. For example, if I were to have a video camera in my hand, I would be required to add experiences to that picture. So I'd look at the picture, imagine myself holding the camera. The next day, I would imagine myself holding the camera, pushing the buttons. The next day, I'd look at my vision board, I'd be holding the camera, pushing the buttons, playing with the fast forward and the rewind button. The next day, I'd be holding the camera, playing with the buttons, looking at the fast forward, the rewind button, and then taking the disc out and putting it into my computer to download the video. The next day I look at my vision board, I would hold the camera, look at the video camera, play with the buttons, fast forward, reverse, pull the disc out of my camera, invite people over to look at my new camera that I just got. That's called watering. Adding nourishment to the seed that's in the soil. The soil is your subconscious, the seed is the item that's on your vision board, and the continuation of the video that's playing inside your mind about that item is the watering, adding to that seed, adding to it every single day. It has become so fun for me to look at my vision board and pull multiple items into the same movie inside my head, seeing myself use them, touch them, share with people, have success with it over and over and over again. I keep adding to that video inside my head of me using it and having it. And what's fascinating, as soon as the video gets to be more real and that I can see it, smell it, taste it, touch it, the item on my vision board comes off. One of the things that I'm going to suggest to you is this, along with all these other suggestions, is don't just look at the picture, but turn that picture into something real and movable and something that you already have and you see it inside your mind. When your mind decides that what you are doing inside your mind in that video is true, you will see that item come off your vision board. So add to the image you see on your vision board. It's called watering. And if you listen closely to what I just said, I also just taught you about how to increase your faith. Faith without works is dead. Faith without adding something to it dries up. Vision boards work the same way. So if you build a vision board, I have a very strong feeling inside that tells me your faith is also going to grow and build. I love the fact that I've used a vision board to teach me how to create, because it's raised my faith level to a very high level. And there is no end to the levels, so I keep going and going and going. Yes, I am saying that vision boards can be a business tool. Yes, I'm saying that vision boards can be a spiritual tool. Yes, I'm saying that you are a creator in the making. You have what it takes already. Everything's inside there. All you have to do is clean it up, put it in order, get the image on your mind, and you will create. It's time for you to live up to what you have inside of you. You are a creator. Does not matter how old you are, does not matter how smart you are. All that matters is if you will take the steps that I've shared with you so far in this experience of you listening to what I have to say, you will start creating. I've watched little kids pull things off their vision boards. I've watched 80 and 90-year-olds pull things off their vision boards. I've watched people who have been addicted to all different kinds of things start pulling their things off their vision board. Everyone has a chance to be able to become a creator. You can do this. All right, get yourself in action, get it moving, get it taken care of, and you know when that ought to happen. The answer is now. Well, my name is Kirk Duncan, and thank you for listening. I hope you learned more than 2 things by listening, and I would suggest listening to this again and again and again until you get your vision board experience nailed down. Oh, one last thing I need to tell you before I go here. On your vision board, make sure you have a wide variety of things that are very small in cost meaning time or money or energy, things that are small in cost, and other things that are large in cost. It'll help you measure where you're at and be able to monitor how fast you're growing your mind to accept larger things. Make sure you have small things and large things. There's an extra little bonus tip there for you. And just know, Kirk Duncan's looking at his vision board every morning and every night. So tune into the next event that I may be talking at, and you'll hear my recent success with vision boards. If I can do it, you can do it. Love you.